What's up, guys? For those of you who commented on my last video, thank you. I was definitely going through a bit of a hard day that day, but the good news is I very quickly learned my lesson from that, and I've flipped things back in a positive direction pretty quickly. And I think it's important to remember too that you're always going to have some moment of weakness when you're changing a pattern, and even if you're doing everything correctly, like, you're still sometimes going to have those moments. But the key thing with that is you just don't want to let it happen twice in a row. There's a book that I read that I've brought up on this channel before, but it's called Atomic Habits. And one of the biggest things that he talks about that I've found to be beneficial is this idea that it is okay if you make a mistake, and you will make a mistake at some point, but the difference between someone who is successful and someone who's not is the person that's successful will not make the same mistake twice. So that's something I often try to remind myself, and that's not to say that you should go around thinking it's okay to just always make mistakes, but what I'm getting at is when something like this does happen, the less that you go into that mode of beating yourself up and letting it dip into your subconscious where you start not feeling good about yourself, the better, because you can actually very quickly flip it back around and get right back on track, which is luckily not luckily, which is what I have been doing. So I am also about to go to my ENT appointment to finally deal with this, whatever this throat thing is that I've been experiencing. But I am just excited to kind of get back into the groove with this. The last couple of days have been a little bit difficult emotionally, but it's getting better. I've had a lot of good things in my life that have been happening, and have a lot of things to look forward to right around the corner. So I'm just trying to think more about those things and think about the things that I'm grateful for, rather than thinking about the things that I am not happy about, or things that I don't have, basically, because life is weird like that. I've had a few key moments in my life where I was not really in the best headspace, and it was causing me to kind of just not really appreciate the things around me, and was also causing me to not be as successful as I could have been. But what happened, which is very interesting, is in those moments I decided that I was going to really shift my brain, and not really so much like I was changing my actions and the things around me too, but I also was really focusing a lot on my mind, strengthening my mind. And what happened was I don't know if I really necessarily believe that manifesting your thoughts is like the answer to all things, but I do think though that there is some kind of logic behind it, because during that time when I was struggling, this was maybe, I'm trying to think of what year this was, it might have been 2018, so 8 years ago or so, I started really manifesting and trying to shift the way that I looked at the world, and focusing on positive energy rather than negative emotions. And what was really interesting is, at first it was a little bit of a struggle, like, to make that happen in my mind. But the more that I did this, the more that I started to notice that good things just kind of started happening to me. And again, I don't think that this is the answer to everything. I'm not one of those people where I just believe like, oh, like this is going to change your, everything about your life, because sometimes a freak thing can just happen that there's no rhyme or reason to it, like a personal problem or a death in the family or something, and you can't, this is not going to change that. But what I am saying is that if you're going about your day to day and you're just like already kind of in this mindset like, oh, I'm not really happy to be doing this, like my life is not going that well, and you like kind of don't believe in yourself, that is going to, even if you're not saying it out loud, it really carries into everything that you do. And even on a subconscious level, people notice that. They're gonna feel that radiating off of you. So if you can replace those feelings and thoughts with positive ones, people are also going to feel that too. And I really believe that at that time, that's kind of what started happening. And just to give you an example of what happened, basically I kind of shifted my mindset, and sorry, I had to take this turn here. I shifted my mindset, and then what ended up happening is I started getting a lot of different opportunities from friends of mine, and ways of building my career and whatnot. And I also started noticing that people just kind of seemed like they wanted to be around me more. And even I felt better about myself, so I like felt better in my own skin. And it was actually really funny because it was very shortly after that I got into a relationship, and everything was working out really well for a long time. Even when I faced hardships, and there were certainly hardships after that, I felt like I was really grounded in the way that I approached them, and I was not just like letting the world kick me around as much, is a good way to put it. But over time, what ended up happening, and this is not like something that I consciously tried to do or anything, but over time my habits just slowly kind of like were slipping a little bit. And it wasn't like the kind of thing where just like one day I just woke up and like my life was like terrible. It was like slowly, like little by little, I would notice that I was kind of like not carrying out my positive habits as much. And I kind of, didn't think it was a big deal at the time, because there were a lot of things that were going wrong in the world. Like that was when the lockdown happened, and I went through a lot during those years. So my first priority, my first focus was not necessarily like, oh, I need to get back to good mental health, even though obviously that was very important and I should have done that. So over the years, what ended up happening is I kind of gradually started to not be in as good of a headspace, I think. And it was interesting, like suddenly some just not very great things started happening to me. And again, not all of those things are like a direct result, and I still don't believe that like there's no way that a tree falling on my house and it getting destroyed is a direct result of that. But I will say this, I do think that my mindset was not helping anything, is a good way to put it. So this is something that I really firmly believe, and I think we have to strengthen our minds and like try to cultivate this not manifesting, but we have to cultivate these positive interactions, positive emotions. So anyway, that's really kind of my main thing I wanted to share for today. But let me know if you guys have any thoughts, and hope to see you guys in the comment section. Peace.